Hello and welcome to this new video on me basically looking on the websites of quantum computing companies, or basically quantum technology companies, because we will also have companies from the quantum communication and sensing space. As always, make sure to grab something to drink to stay hydrated, and let's look into it. Today we look at IQM, which is a European company in the space of quantum systems. So looking at the website, what we already see is there is a physical system here, so hardware. We see a very futuristic look to it. So we have this blue turquoise type of shape and the gray here. We can still see that very much looks like a cryostat. So you see this cylindric shape, this metal cylinder here with the nice logo on it. And probably some control racks here on this side, so that looks like the electronic side of things. And I would guess that on this side there will be the cryogenic side. You see the pipes running out here as well. It says quantum computers built for real impact. The most diverse portfolio of supercomputing full-stack quantum computers with up to 150 high-fidelity qubits, which I think is not exactly completely true anymore. Let's quickly look at the news, because I think they just announced something. Here we see it. They just announced today, on the recording day of this video, May 20th, that they have this 300 qubit quantum computer, which they will deliver to Finland. So IQM will deliver, okay, but it says will deliver. So we're talking about 2026 here. For the 150 and then 300 in 2027. But let's go back to the original page first and then go through it step by step. So I'm not going to click on this now. I'm just going to scroll down. So what do they have here? So it says quantum computers for any need. There is Spark, which is a 5 qubit superconducting system. Here it says for university and research. Then we have Radiance, which is a advanced superconducting computer with 20, 54 and 150 high fidelity qubits designed for HPC, so high performance computers. And then we have Resonance, which is a quantum cloud platform for groundbreaking science and exploring real world use cases. So very nice. We have 3 different things here in the portfolio. We have something for universities to play around with, to try out, which has 5 qubits. So you can basically do entanglement, superposition with it. You can measure error rates. You can do the confusion matrix and whatever. Then we have something here, which is more, let's say, for the operational stuff, algorithm play around. So you have a little bit more qubits. You can actually try to build your own algorithms. You can learn how the topography of your qubit chip interfaces with the actual, let's say, algorithm development. So you can work on the compiler side of things. So you can learn all about this. And then there's Resonance, which is the easiest access of all of them, because here you basically just access a cloud platform. And there we can also see already some of this cloud platform, but probably we will see more in a second. So very nice offering so far, because it gives various different access levels. Here we see the trusted by industry leaders, so basically people that IQM is working with, and we see really big brands. So we see Euro HPC, which is the European HPC initiative. We have NVIDIA, HP, VTT. So yeah, there's a lot, Oak Ridge National Lab. So there is a lot of Jülich Forschungszentrum, which is of course a very important brand. It's actually the research center where I used to work during my PhD time. So we see there's a lot of trusted names on there. Then why IQM quantum computers? We want to help you succeed. We foster quantum systems and help industries gain competitive advantage through quantum. So basically, this is the place to look into if you want to do your first step into quantum computing in industry, as it looks here, because it says we help industries gain competitive advantage. So the main target audience is industrial interests, so companies businesses. It says number 1 in on-premise quantum computer deliveries globally in the past year. So that's very interesting. So they have a lot of quantum computing systems already delivered. They do open hardware and software platform. That's also very cool. I love open source ever since. So I like this approach of making things open. I'd love to know how that actually looks in practice. Maybe we find out more a little bit down below. And then, it says most diverse product portfolio in the market. Okay, what else do we see here? There's a roadmap. That seems to be something that the quantum hardware companies like to put on their websites nowadays. We've seen that already with various other ones in this video series. And it says the future of portfolio optimization is quantum. So that sounds a little bit like target audience is in the finance case here, for this case study at least. And it says download report. Okay, then we see a couple of statements here from Datev. It's a German company. Eviden, VTT, and so on. Okay, then what we've been up to. Okay, press releases, interesting. Then they also have a blog, which seems to be fairly active. And they also participate in scientific publications, which I guess matches pretty well with their strategy of making things open. Okay, so that was the first page. Let's quickly go into the other ones, not making it too long this time. So products, we have the different ones. We saw that before. Spark is the one for research with 5 qubits. Then it says a little bit who's using that, some notes on that. Access to top-class technologies, high-quality quantum processing units with 99.9% fidelity, 2-gate, okay. Transparent build, hands-on, okay. Very nice. Then we see here, basically, this is the interface for all the vacuum pumps and stuff which you need in order to control the cryostat. Here it says something about the technical specifications. That looks very much all targeted towards the chip. So you see here like single qubit gate fidelity, 2-qubit gate fidelity. We see something like qubits in a gigahertz state with fidelity, okay. Quantum volume, which is also a very important measure in order to understand how much of the quantum space you can actually access. It says the size of the system, the power droid, which basically mainly is the cryostat, which is behind that. And then, we see some frequently asked questions and what we saw before. Let's also quickly check out their roadmap, because we always like to look at the roadmaps. So it says fault-tolerant quantum computers with 1 million qubits. So that's a very ambitious goal, 1 million qubits. So what do we see here? Since the start, we're accelerating quantum computing systems. We have delivered quantum computing systems, okay, 150 qubits already scheduled. Additionally, our state-of-the-art manufacturing facility builds 20 on-premise quantum computers annually, so they can sell 20 of those, which is also an interesting number to know, I assume. And here we see the roadmap, which goes all the way to 2023 plus. Okay, very cool. And what do we see? So here are the different processors, the performance goals that they're trying to hit, the qubit count, which is what everyone always likes to look at. But there are also some statements on the software platform, the quantum machine learning, which is also something that people are looking into, simulation and optimization, which are basically the applications. So we have the applications, we have the software, we have the processors, we have the performance targets, the qubit counts, and then the logical qubits. So again, very briefly, if you haven't seen any of the other videos before, there is physical qubits, which in the NISQ area, so right now basically, is qubits that have errors attached to them that can come from all types of resources, from all types of different sources, but these qubits, they're not perfect, they're making errors, and that's because of their surroundings and whatever. For that, there is a whole discipline, academic discipline, called quantum error correction. This basically takes multiple of these qubits, puts them together into what we call a logical qubit. A logical qubit is a qubit without any errors. It's a very complex topic, it's a very complex field, because basically the difference between classical and quantum information is classical information you can just copy. So you basically make a copy of a bit and then you have basically a safe bit. But now for quantum, you basically cannot copy information because quantum information falls under the no cloning theorem. So you cannot make a copy of it, which basically means you have to find a way to read what the qubit is doing, if it's doing an error or if it's in the right state, without actually interfacing with the information that you actually want to use for your calculation. And then errors can spread in these quantum systems because everything is entangled, so it's a whole mess. It's a very difficult topic, and you can also see here, even at, we see here, I guess, different topologies. That's a very interesting topic we need to talk about as well very briefly. So you see different topologies here, and even at 300, we are still talking about 1 to 2 logical qubits, and only at 1000 we scale up to 4 to 36 logical qubits. Very briefly on this, because I think this is something very interesting about IQM. So when it comes to those superconducting qubits, they basically have to be connected with each other. And now it is not possible that easily to connect every qubit with every other right away, just because they are laid out on a flat surface, right, on your chip. So you have a 2D surface, and now it's not so easy to connect every qubit with every other one if you just put them in a row. And that's what has been done traditionally. So basically you have a long chain of qubits that are all chained up behind each other, and then can couple one to the next one and the next one to the next one. And basically by this you can spread out the quantum information across the chip. But the more operations you do, the higher potentially also is your loss. And now what they have is they have this star topology. Let me zoom in, which basically means every qubit can talk via this node here in the center, can talk to every other qubit. So there's a much higher connectivity between those, which makes this a very interesting approach. I would assume, but I don't know too much about it, that this has not been touched by many yet, because the more of these junctions and connections you have, the higher also is the crosstalk between the different, or the probability that two qubits talk to each other, which are not supposed to talk to each other. So the higher the risk also gets, and the higher your error rate also gets. So that's why I assume not many have been touching this before, but definitely this is a very, let's say, innovative and also a USP, a different approach than what we've seen with other ones. Let's now also quickly look onto the company part of the website. So, click about the company. So we see again, quantum computers built for real impact. That's the motto here. And then we see a couple of KPIs. So 200 million plus in funding, euro. We see 300 plus people working there from 45 different nationalities. So very international company. We see they have already delivered more than 10 of these quantum computers. Just remember, they can produce up to 20. They have already 9 locations. There's a lot of patents already. This is also an important topic. This is basically a field with so many things that are being developed and so much new ground, and taking into account the IP side of this is also very important. And I think this is something which, also looking at all of these different pages of all of the different companies, is something that is not valued high enough right now. There has to be a lot of patents issued, because you want to make sure that if you build your company on something that you develop, you also make sure that you keep this, or that you have something to at least protect it a little bit. And then we see here 30 plus quantum computers built. So they have already delivered multiple quantum computers to some of their customers, it seems. So very cool metrics already. Looks like they're really finding a market here where there's actually commercial interest. And then, yeah, we can learn more about their mission here, for example. So they say we build world-leading quantum computers for the well-being of humankind now and for the future. So this is really like driven towards what the market drives us to, which is serving the customers, serving the humans behind it, and building products that actually help people. So that's very good. And what else do we see here? Where we come from. So IQM's journey is all about pushing the limits of quantum technology, dive into our biggest milestones and game-changing breakthroughs that make us the leader in quantum computing we are today. So basically here we can see the history of the company. So this is probably one of the first systems, and then, yeah, cool. We can go through it. We can see the different steps of how it was built, the different systems that they have been building. Also very nice illustrations here. Definitely something to check out, all the way to this very futuristic one that they have now. Okay, well, looks very interesting to me. Let's see if there is something else that we should check out. Oh, they also have an academy, which is of course very cool, because that means this is a place where you can actually learn more about IQM. So if you're interested, go check out the academy. If you like this format, please let me know, because then I will create more videos. I will show you more of these companies. There's such a big ecosystem right now of quantum computing companies that work in various different areas, not only in the hardware production, but also on the software side, on the application side. So if this is interesting to you, just let me know down in the comments below, and I will make sure that we get more videos and more people into this, and maybe even at some day somebody from IQM to tell us a little bit more about the solutions. With that, always stay hydrated, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.